Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 8, live spoiler reactions. We've been doing spoiler videos for the last couple days. Some were tidbits of spoilers, some were beyond the spoilers where we took our bold predictions. Then there was some new information that came out today, so I do want to get your ideas. If I had to kind of describe what we're going to do today, we're going to walk through the spoilers. We are going to add some of our ideas of the way we think it's going to play out since we got new information. And then I think we're going to look bigger picture ideas. And I do have something that's a little crazy I want to throw by you guys. And hey, some of our crazy ideas have worked out brilliantly. So I am going to highlight a couple things that we've talked about over the last couple weeks that did happen in this episode. So I think you guys have been funneling quite well. Before we get into that, real quick shout out to the Patreon Army. And as you guys know, I think it was yesterday where I said we're going to be doing these PDL boxes, PDL packs that are going to mail out quarterly, and we've got to get a number, we've got to cap it. Right before we got this video, I said we're going to cap it at 25. We just got our 24th PDL sponsor, so you guys can see the updated chart up there. And Joshua Deering just signed up literally like 10 minutes before I posted that. So 24 PDL sponsors. You guys don't know what PDL is, come here tomorrow night during our Freestyle Friday. It is a live action role-playing game, a whole lot of fun. Tune in and see what it's all about. But awesome group, so much support. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here, everything that you guys do. So let's jump into what we're going to talk about tonight. You guys want me to start with my crazy bold theory or go through the spoilers, and then when we get to that part, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave it open for interpretation. Let's go through, and then when I hit that part of the spoiler, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to leave you guys kind of on ice. And everybody here, we're going to have a couple hundred people here. Hit that like button as well. So let's start it out. As we talked about earlier, with the spoilers, big question is people want to know, how does this Siddiq thing go down? So we did say that Siddiq turning could potentially save Rosita. It is either going to be a distraction or it's going to be Dante. And I wouldn't say we're 100% on that, but I would say we're pretty close, because the way it's going to go down is, Rosita comes by there. Dante is getting ready to stab Siddiq in the head just to kind of put him out totally. Then we see that scene where Dante looks a little bit nervous. He's talking to Rosita. Rosita hears the growl. She gets suspicious. Dante can read suspicion. If there's one thing we know about him, all Siddiq had to do was just kind of, cut the eyes, look at him a little bit, make the move, and then he knew. So, Dante's got some experience with that. So Dante does tell Rosita's like, hey, I got a knife, and, they don't want to get the baby involved, so Rosita casually puts the baby in the bathtub. They have a fight. Dante does overpower her a little bit, so I think they're gonna make us think that it's part two. No offense to Siddiq, but Rosita's a much better fighter than Siddiq. She looks like she's going to be overpowered, but she finally manages to stab him, and then while they're fighting, apparently Siddiq is in the background going after Coco, so I think it's just going to be this real nervous, like, come on, Rosita, you got to do something. Coco's in trouble. And Dante leaves, heads to the infirmary, and then Rosita does officially stab Siddiq before he gets to Coco. So I think I'm still going to say it's going to make your heart race. Like, we're going to watch this Saturday morning, and without the commercials and AMC premiere, and you're going to feel like you're there. So even though the spoilers are out, I think it's going to be very good. I think it's going to be better. I do like me some spoilers. So the spoilers weren't 100% on how the Daryl Dante thing goes down. But if Dante's stabbed, it makes sense that Dante goes to the infirmary. He's going to try to heal himself first. And Daryl meets him over there. Going to punch him a few times, says, I hope that hurts. And we come to find out, let me get your thoughts on this. Because some people said this was Lydia. Some people said this was somebody else. What do you guys think about Dante, the graffiti, the water? I mean, Dante's got a whole corrupt operation going on. Shannon M. What up, guys? Rosita will MMA Dante's butt. Yeah, I'm wondering if Dante's going to put her in the same, sleeper hold. Like he's like doing some Sergeant Slaughter stuff. But yeah, she gets the best of him. Thanks for popping in here, Shannon. Appreciate that. So yes, Dante did it, but I mean, how do you guys feel about the realization now that it was one person behind all of those different events? The water, the Cheryl thing, Sadiq. Man, he's and then he still had time to leave notes for Alpha. I agree with that, Natalie. Yeah, don't know what's up with Gage. I think, Gage is probably going to be one of those that just drags out for a while. On a scale of evil, though, I mean, Gage is not the most evil person we've ever seen. He certainly is a bully and annoying as hell. And he's somebody who takes things too far. Do I think he's a killer? Do I think that they were going to really hurt Lydia? No, I don't. He just takes it too far. He doesn't know when to stop. Eric Beach should hang him on the pike. I think Gage is Jared. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's as bad as Jared, but I do think he's in that category. I do think he's close. But I don't like him. I mean, would not be sad to see him go. Whew. You guys are throwing it out there, man. You guys want to see him on pikes? You want to see him hung like Gregory? Yeah, that's some serious punishment. Gage is Ron. That's some good comparisons. So let's jump over to the next spoiler, because we know that Dante's doing some crazy stuff. I guess it's not always what you know or what you see. Sometimes it's what you don't see. No Lydia in this episode. You guys a little surprised? Mid-season finale. She just ran away. But nothing to do with her. So that's cliffhanger, just going to be out there somewhere on her own. That was a little surprising to me. I don't know if I was quite as definitive that there would be a Negan-Lydia scene, but no Negan and no Lydia in the mid-season finale. I'm going to give a little bit of reasoning to that too. Last night, if you guys remember, we did talk about when we got the bits and pieces of spoilers. A few of you agreed with me. A few disagreed, but that's normal. I mean, we don't always agree 100%. But I stated that I felt like the episode was rushed. So if they've rushed the Virgil storyline, and now knowing what I know about the full spoilers, I'm going to double down on that and say it's really, really rushed. So if they're rushing the Virgil story, there's just no time. There's no time for Dog and Beta and Negan and Lydia. I mean, there's 4 major characters right there that are not going to be in this episode, and they still didn't quite develop the Virgil story. I'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. We got Amy Ferrero. What's up, Bones? Good to see you. You guys want to see a little bit more of Amy Bones Ferrero? Tune in tomorrow night for PDL. You're also going to see Miss the Ninja. Johnny Metal. Yeah, we got the whole gang tomorrow night. We have a lot of fun. Amy Ferrer, I'm here to support 999 with a temperature of 103. Oh boy, I bet the mid-season finale is going to be crazy. Bones, here's my question. With that temperature of 103, are you going to be in condition to be the healer for your group tomorrow night? So you need to get yourself well, because your team is going to need you, that's for sure. Yeah, no Negan, apparently. Well, I'm not going to say, I mean, these guys are good. I mean, and let me say this once again. These spoilers that we're going over, they're not my spoilers. They're Spoiling Dead's fan page. But I will tell you this, the funnels are our funnels. So when these predictions start to come true, and we're on top of it, that's the beauty of tying the spoilers early. Some of the people say they avoid spoilers, and it's fine. No problem with that. They want to be completely shocked. But to me, the value of the spoiler is the validation of what we talk about every week, and we get these bold predictions out there. And there's going to be a couple. So this one I absolutely I love. Aaron and Gamma. Tyler Neifert says 103. Temp, stop drinking the water. Oh, Tyler brought up the Dante story. Yeah, Amy, be careful. Make sure if you drink the water, just, put the handle back up, then twist it where it's drinkable. So, last night, I had a lot of fun. I think of all the Beyond the Spoilers we talked about last night, for me, it was the Gamma Aaron story. If you guys remember what I'm talking about, we really got this breakdown of the trick within the trick. Like what's going to happen and how it's going to push this story forward past the mid-season finale into the premiere. And it has to do with Gamma. So Aaron tells the group that he's been talking to her. Her name's Mary, and she basically is interested in the nephew. So who here trusts Gamma? Aaron does. Who else trusts Gamma? Julia Muse does. Ben Stevenson does. Bamber Kitty. I agree, Roxanne. Natalie's torn. So let me tell you guys with this spoiler and how I think it ties in. So last night we said there's 3 potential scenarios with Gamma. Number 1, Gamma is ready to betray Alpha, and she's going to go up and give Aaron this information. Number 2, she is playing her role, doing her thing, and tricking them. And number 3, she's trying to do the right thing, but Alpha tricks her, and she gets blamed for it. Those are the 3 possibilities. Well, Ben, see, that's interesting. And let me get these 2 super chats because I do want to talk about both of those. Shannon super chat and says, I definitely trust Gamma, but I think Alpha will make it look like Gamma betrayed the group for sure. I'm right there with you, but I'm not sure. This is what's weird about it. Like, I can see all 3 of these scenarios playing out, and yesterday I really only saw one of them. But with the new spoiler information, here's what I think could happen. And Ben Stevenson says she wouldn't double cross with the nephew on the line. Okay. So Gamma, to those of you that don't know, Gamma tells them the location of the Horde. So when they get there, Alpha is there. So that means all 3 theories are still in play. But isn't it a little bit odd that Alpha has moved the Horde and there's a person watching from behind the tree. When our group, so Carol, Alpha's there. I'm not going to do it. I was about to do my Alpha voice. Sometimes I can do it on cue. All right, I need a new Alpha. I need a new Alpha line. I think I've worn that one. I've worn that like a mask. I'm gonna have to get me a new Whisperer mask. You must be punished. There you go. All right, you asked for it. There you go. Amanda's like, do it. All right. So Alpha, pops out. Carol sees her. Carol runs after her. And then the rest of the group goes in that direction, and they fall in a cave. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of it. This is the end. But someone is watching from behind the tree. I mean, that could be Lydia. But they said Lydia's not in the scene, but maybe we don't know. So they think it is Gamma. So if Gamma is watching all this play out, and to go back to Shannon and Ben's super chats, because I think both of your theories are still possible. When they're down in the cave, the group starts to blame Gamma. Probably Daryl, right? I don't care. I'm going to kill some bitch. Strictus. I mean, it's probably... So Aaron's probably like, no. She's telling the truth. We might get like old hyperventilating Aaron again. So Aaron still believes in her. Which is funny because by association, some of you are going to have to believe Aaron now. So some people like Gamma, but they didn't like Aaron, and now Aaron supports Gamma. So you see how that works out? Now by default, you kind of have to support Aaron if you and Aaron both support Gamma, because you're kind of both on the same side of the argument. So is Aaron a good judge of character? Is he right? That's the question. And I think that's how it's going to play out. We got Pete D in the house. What's up, Pete D? Super chatting it up. You guys know Pete D, channel member, PDL sponsor. And super chat, it says, not able to make many live streams, but wanted to drop in and say hi to the Army. Pete, I got a question, though. Because I know Pete was big, not the biggest Terra fan in the world. Pete, are there any... how do we feel about Maggie? Are there any current versions of Terra out there that we might have to keep a watch on? Pete was in a lot of streams, and I'm telling you, we had a Terra countdown literally for like 2 seasons until it finally happened. And then when it happened, it was like, at least with me, it was like, I'm not sure when it to happen now. Not like that. Oh, there you go. All right. Pete's got the Maggie Trader counter going on. All right, we're going to keep a close eye on that one. So the intrigue around this, it's extended paranoia. So in some regards, what Alpha had Dante doing, she now has Gamma doing, whether Gamma chooses to do it or not. Now, there's no doubt Alpha knew the group was coming. So I'm going to ask you guys, and it still plays into all 3 narratives, so I'm going to ask everybody here now, you got to take a choice, one way or the other. Did Alpha know the group was coming because Gamma gave them the information and then Gamma told Alpha that? Or did Alpha overhear it or see it? How did Alpha know without having like some microphone on Gamma? How did Alpha know that they were coming after the Horde? So, Natalie, it's a good point. They're always watching, but does that mean that they were listening? See, this is what's a little bit crazy. Now, you might be able to hear someone's conversation on a set. Okay, sorry, too soon. Look, Gamma and Aaron are probably not close enough to anyone that they can hear their conversation. They can see them talking, but talking in itself doesn't incriminate her. So if I were to look at the three possibilities, and as Shannon and Ben Stevenson both said, I'm going to disagree with both of you. I'm not going to make it a bold prediction, but I'm going to go a little different direction. Will Gamma, Ben Stevenson, to your point, will Gamma ever get her nephew back as long as these people are alive? I'm going to paint a much darker picture. Maybe she gets to see them. Maybe she gets to talk to them. But is she ever going to get them back? Now, is it possible that Gamma sets them up for Alpha with the deal that Gamma gets the baby? Just think about that for a second. Because I'm going to give you some other things. It might not work out that way, but I'm going to give you a few other spoiler details from this show, this episode, that would lean me more toward that direction than the other two. And that's a different direction because I wasn't there last night. I was kind of thinking along a different line. Bug Ferreira says, I'm going to whoop your... what? I don't think I can say that in Alpha's voice, Tom. It's not like a Alpha for hire. It's got to be something that... It's one rule between our people. One law. I'm going to whoop your ass. I don't know. I think I sounded more like Jerry Reed and Smokey and the Bandit or something. I don't know. I don't think it was Alpha. It's like, what was that voice? Anyway, all right, there you go, Tom. That's all I'm doing for you, man. Those type of super chats work much better on Freestyle Friday than in a live spoiler reaction stream. So, let me go back to kind of the theory that I'm pushing here. So, Gamma gives information to Aaron. It seems like misinformation. Alpha knows about that information. She moves the walkers and she lures them over a cave that they collapse into. You can't just do that at the drop of a hat. You've got to have some advance warning that the group knows about that. So based on that, I feel like Gamma is playing them to get the baby back. And you know what? I want my baby back. Sorry, I had to do it. So even if Alpha doesn't give her the baby, if all these people die, then she gets her own. Furthermore, is it possible that if Aaron dies, well, Gamma can just go hijack Gracie? She gets her own niece. Easy. She can just pick up Gracie and take off. But I'm not sure. I think Gamma still has... I do think she's a pawn, but I don't think she has good intentions. I think we're led to believe she has good intentions, and it was obvious. When I saw last week's episode, I'm TG, man. I was right there like, I think Gamma's turning the corner, but if she gives Aaron some information just because, I want to see my nephew, and then they're set up, and then she gets blamed, and then she's the one watching to see how it all goes down, to see when they get trapped so she can go do something else. Feels like a setup to me. Because I think the only way you can take the counter argument, where's the visual evidence to make us trust Gamma? Give me something that I can look at, because I've got enough visual evidence to make me not trust her. There's a couple things, right? I'll give you that. She was having the flashbacks, and she was upset killing the walker. But she did go back. And I agree with that, Deidre. She was crying by herself. No doubt about it. And she was also pissed off, and she was killing the walker. But here's the thing. Even though she was lied to, even though she was crying by herself, even though she was cutting that walker and poisoning the water, kills coin to the first person that can answer this question. She did all of those things, but what did she keep doing? And I'm going to give a kills coin to the speed round. It's an easy one, everybody. You can get this. Kel, there you go. Tommy Man Bun McCandless. Of all the emotion, of all the things, she kept going back to Alpha, not Aaron. She kept going back to Alpha. She's unhappy about poisoning the water. She goes back and tells Alpha. She goes and meets Aaron again. She goes back and Alpha says, "Is that all you found out?" "Yes." And then she gets beaten and she does it again. Now, granted, all those things are prior to the Lydia discovery. And I'm not saying that the Lydia revelation can't be the straw that broke the camel's back, because it certainly can. And it might be. But we still got a little bit, and I'm not going to say it's a plot hole, we got a little bit of misunderstanding. If she went and told Aaron where the hoard is, how does Alpha know about it? You don't know about it from watching at a distance. Now, this is what I need to see. So, and I'm going to bring closure to these super chats. So Ben Stevenson and Shannon, there's one thing that they must do in order for me to understand and believe that Gamma is innocent and on their side. All right. And I'm going to open it up for one more kills coin. If you guys can tell me there's something very easy for them to do, and it has to happen, and I think it will happen this way. Close, Rick Grimes. It's a pretty easy one. You know what? This might be a tough one. You guys might. I don't think it's about giving the information. You know what? I'll give kills coins out later on because I want to kind of keep going. I need to see a whisper under that bridge. I need to see someone close enough to hear the conversation. I keep hearing they're always watching. I don't care that you're always watching. Binoculars from 200 yards away is not going to hear this conversation. I need a whisperer close enough to hear that Gamma is betraying them. Because if not, I'm going to have a problem with that storyline. There's no way that Alpha could know that Gamma told them the location of the hoard unless they either heard it or Gamma's in on it. Those are the only possibilities. All right, let's get to a couple more. Yeah, the troll under the bridge. Let's get to a couple more spoilers because there's some good ones in here. So, Daryl, Carol, Aaron, Connie, Jerry, Kelly, Magna. This has gotten crazy. And we can certainly hashtag Cavegate. I'm completely confused. And if you guys don't know the spoiler drama that's out there, some of you have heard it maybe from Spoiling Dead's fan page. Some of you have heard it here. So initially, there was a cave scene, and Kelly was supposed to fall in the cave and die. This was months ago. It was out there. But then, the writer's Walking Dead, and they're doing the okie doke, switching around. When are they filming? When are they not filming? So then that somehow became, hold on, I'm going to explain. You're right, Angela Lewis, it is now. But initially, it was Kelly falls in the cave, Kelly dies. Then, Connie's not filming anymore. So then it was Connie. Connie falls in the cave and dies. They're doing a going away party for Connie. It's going to happen after 9. All of these things that are out there. Now we're hearing all this group falls in the cave and no one is injured. But they're completely surrounded by thousands of walkers. I got a way I think that might play out. That's not my super bold prediction. I'll get to that in 1 minute. We got Ben Stevens has said, I said a whisper under the bridge way earlier as a joke. We are the Funnel Brothers, man. I swear it. I didn't see it, Ben. And at that point, I kind of hadn't talked myself through the idea yet. But the picture alone, you always see Aaron kind of leaning up there, right? And I guess the question is, where else could they talk where somebody could hide? Because if you're in the woods, they have to be behind a tree. One time I've seen them like, hang on, let me look under this bridge, see if anybody's under there. Plus it might echo a little bit. You might get a little bit of, voices carry. Surrounded by thousands of walkers. It is not outside of the realm of possibility that Connie, Christmas Girl, hush, hush, keep it down now. Voices can't. There you go. You didn't think I knew it, but I do know it. I'm like a lyrical gangster. So maybe we don't get the full Andrea leading the walkers off the cliff death. But let me ask the group this question. Is it conceivable that the group is trapped in this cave, they're completely surrounded, and Connie does something heroic to get them out of this bad situation? Is it believable that that could go down? Because I don't think they're going to give Daryl a long-term relationship. As much as we like Connie, I kind of feel like Connie's got to die. And Connie would have a bigger impact on us through Daryl than Kelly. Because, and no offense to Kelly, she's a good actress, but I don't think people really care a whole lot about Kelly. Like when she was out there killing the boar, I think she could have died in that scene and it wouldn't have affected a whole lot of people. But Connie, one, because we've seen a little bit more of Connie, and number two, the impact it would have on Kelly and on Daryl is going to hit us a little bit harder. And we know, look, 10 seasons, we know what kind of pushes our characters' buttons. Something's got to get Daryl into complete, I don't give a crap mode and beast mode. Connie's death would. But it ain't going to happen this week. So, So here we go. Let's put the most overused cliche in the world. Let's put 2 and 2 together. So if we heard there was a cave, and initially it was Kelly, and then they changed it to Connie. We heard Connie died in a cave. And then we heard that there was a party, a going away party for Connie after episode 9. Okay? Well, the mid-season premiere is episode 9. So it certainly seems as if we got our spoiler information. And they're surrounded by walkers. So Connie dies in the cave, which will open up the door for other people. Probably going to be those, you're going to get sad-faced Daryl again. And I've already heard people today, that picture popped up and people are like, I was in tears. Anytime I see Daryl upset, I'm in tears. So if Daryl's upset because of Connie, you're going to be in tears. It's not really a question of it being... I guess Rob and Vance, by they, because it's what Spoiling Dead's fan page does. They predict spoilers. I mean, that's their thing. And sometimes they're way, way ahead of the curve. But initially it was Kelly, and I think everybody was like, cool. And then now it's Connie. But I also think there are a group of people that thought because it didn't happen this week that it wasn't going to happen. But then, as we know, there's this mini cliffhanger where they're surrounded by thousands of walkers. You don't just... Look, when you've got this group of people, Daryl, Carol, Aaron, Connie, Jerry, Kelly, and Magna... Somebody's got to get eaten so the rest of the people that can get out. And it does appear it's going to be Connie in the mid-season premiere. Just be prepared for it. I don't know, I don't know if that's I don't think we can funnel that. We can kind of agree with it. But if it's a rumor and you say okay, Kelly's going to die. Okay, never mind. Connie's going to die. Okay, never mind. Jerry's going to be the one that's going to die. I mean, if you just throw it up there and say everybody's going to die and it's just a rumor, well, you're going to be right about one of them. I'm going to say it's not our theory, but I agree that they all fall in the cave and one of them will have to die. And if you've already told me it's probably Connie and there's a going away party for Connie and Connie's not filming anymore, then ding, 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 we got it, man. We're going with that. All right, we got a super chat. So we got Bamber Kitty. Angel Theory spoke of working with the actress who plays Connie in past tense on Talking Dead. Did she slip up? Maybe, Bamber. I mean, they do. But for every past tense statement like that, Lydia apparently bought sushi for everybody, and then everybody thought, okay, well, she's dead. Now, she might be. She might have been buying everybody lunch, and I think that was after 13 or 14. I don't think Lydia makes it. You know what? Because we're going let's go ahead and get that opinion in there. And here's what I'm looking forward to doing. I love doing spoilers. I love doing Beyond the Spoilers. But you guys know what's really cool about next week? Half of our audience that doesn't watch spoilers is going to be right back in this room, and they're going to be predicting right along with us. So I'm really looking forward to next week when our streams are not just, hey, this is a spoiler reaction video. It's going to be, what do you guys think? You guys think that Lydia is going to have it out with Alpha? There's going to be this... I just have this feeling Alpha's going to have to kill Lydia. I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of seeing this. I don't think Alpha's the queen of emotional suffering, right? Like her whole thing is, I'm not just going to cut this person's head off. I'm going to make you watch. So it's not about the person she's hurting. It's about the emotional torture. So I don't think dying is good enough for Alpha. Don't you guys think that she needs to go through something like really, really emotionally disturbing, like having to kill her own daughter? I mean, that would be something that the audience wouldn't like it and she wouldn't like it, but it would destroy her and would be everything that, every single thing that she's fought for. Just, I know it's kind of twisted. Ben Stevenson, will a Lydia kill be Negan's reason to kill Alpha? Or, Ben, I guess if we don't want to go quite down that road, would a saving Lydia even be? I think you got a couple possibilities there. I like it. So Alpha is about to kill Lydia. Negan saves the day, and then you got this Lydia-Negan partnership. I mean, she did say her dad would have saved her, so maybe Daryl's not going to be the daddy figure. Negan's going to be the daddy figure. And Negan did always want kids. So I could see a Lydia partnership in the future, certainly. Or could Alpha kill Lydia and Negan lose it? Either one, I think, are in play. I love them. I love those ideas. And that would be able to give him that motivation that he needs in order to take that step. But, yeah, I think both of them are good. But certainly just Negan killing her without witnessing Alpha go through something, I think is a very... It's not a complete story. We got to see her emotionally spent before they close the book on this character. You don't just hang her like Gregory. You put her through stuff. Because that's it, We're moving on to the next villain. Rosita. I'm not going to say it's that every time somebody has a flashback, it's PTSD, but I am a little bothered by the fact that Rosita just went through all of that with Dante, with Sadiq, with Coco being in danger, and now she's going to be fighting walkers outside the wall, and she's going to start having flashbacks again. I think it's an easy story to write. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that the effects with Rosita could be lingering. And now that we've got Sadiq, I don't know how the Whisperers feel about babies, but, one of our bold predictions 2 months ago was that the Whisperers would kidnap Coco. I don't think that's still unbelievable. I don't think that's still not in play. And I got a follow-up question to sort of think that through a little bit. E-Beach is filming complete now for season 10. I think it is because I saw a picture posted of Norman and Carol, and they said that's a wrap. Carol had a pretty large gash over her right eye, and Daryl had a black eye and several additional cuts on his face. Ben Stevenson, in the comic, the reason it's not TV appropriate and Alpha's emotional, Negan has her vulnerable, being forced to keep her place as Alpha and kill Lydia in front of her people would work for television. Well, because it works with the Negan story and it also works with the Alpha story. So, Les the Patriots fan. That's BS. Connie does not need to die to cause Daryl some more pain. They already did that when they killed Beth, and Daryl grunted for years, no thanks, I like Connie a lot. So, Patriots fan, let me say first and foremost, and I respect your opinion, it doesn't matter whether you like Connie a lot or not, whether or not she's going to die. I happen to like Connie a lot too. But it's not a basis of Connie needs to die because we like Connie. Connie doesn't need to die because we don't like Connie. Connie is probably going to die because spoiler sites have said there was a cave scene and someone died. It was initially Kelly. Then they said, no, it was not Kelly. It was Connie. And the ripple effect of that death certainly has an additional effect on Daryl, even though it's been played before. It won't be the first time they've ever played on Daryl's emotions. I mean, look at what Rick Grimes has been through. Rick's been through that. Look how many times Carol has been in that emotionally dark place. I mean, we're 10 years into it. Certainly people are going to go through some of the same emotions they went through previously. Connie's existence doesn't depend on whether or not Daryl needs motivation. Connie's story is a bigger story than that. If 6 people are in a cave and she decides she's going to be the person to save Daryl because Daryl's going to fight, or to save her sister and her sister's there, it's one element of it. Don't get stuck on the one element, and it's Daryl's emotional situation. She's probably going to die. They wrote her that way to die. There's probably a bigger story, and I think she goes out in a big way, not just so the audience is crying over Daryl, but it is an after effect to that happening. Almost every character that dies, we could come up with an after effect of something else. If Jerry dies there's probably going to be a lot of people here that say, well, I really love Jerry and I don't want Jerry to die. But Jerry's impact would certainly have an impact on Nabila, it'd have an impact on their kids, could have a side impact to Eugene, would have a big impact on Ezekiel's choices. So somebody in that cave is probably going to die, and the spoiler sites are telling you it's Connie, and there's been a going away party for Connie, I would say then it's probably not BS. It's probably legit, and there's additional reasons for that to happen. Ben, kind of back to your made for television. If Alpha would have to be forced to kill, the question I have for the group is, what is the mood of the Whispers if she has to do that publicly? Does she come out and admit that she lied about it? I mean, that's what's a little tricky with that story. So I could see this as an event, and Alpha trying to do it to save face. I know that's the worst pun to save. Actually, that's a paradox and a pun, right? She's cutting off someone's head to save face. Yeah, bad example. Yeah, you get it. At this point, I don't know that we can kind of reference arc, because a lot of times, if we get off script and we talk about arc, look. How many people like Lydia? How many Lydia fans out there? How many people think Lydia is an exciting part of the Walking Dead future, and if you were the person running the show, would like to cut her a check every week to show up? And I think that's where, it's one thing to say, yeah, she's good, but don't you think sometimes we say people are good because they're not bad? I don't know that I'm attached to Lydia per se. I don't know that I love Lydia's character, or I think that it's big for the story. And when you kind of get to that, it's almost as if, well, if Lydia dies, is it going to be the end of the world? No. If she's out there hand-to-hand combat, she dies, maybe not. And that's why you have varying degrees of death on The Walking Dead. If her mother has to kill her and it's a very sad death, then what we're going to find is the group is going to gravitate more toward Lydia. And that's why some people get good deaths and some people get bad deaths. They make Spencer more Spencer before they kill him. And then, other people, not so much. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Lydia. But Lydia is way too easy to manipulate because of everything she's went through. I struggle with her storyline. She hit Carol in the face and ran off. Now, on the surface, I kind of want to see how you guys feel about that. How do you feel about Lydia running off into Whisperer territory? Not being able to take a step back and say, hey, you used me, I don't like this. I mean, you guys think that's a good story? That it's easy just to go back and say, Carol did it. It's Carol's fault. She was mad. Okay, she's mad. But she hit Carol in the face and she ran off. Don't follow me. I love it. I love the justification, Ruth. She's a teenager. She's childish. Hey, childish might get you killed. She's going to run out there. Here's where it gets even more tricky. Look, we're going to have like a lot of degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're going to have a lot of degrees of Lydia or Carol. Okay. If Carol pissed off Lydia, Lydia left, the group of Daryl, Carol, Aaron, Connie, Jerry, Kelly, and Magna go out looking for Lydia, and Connie dies. Who killed Connie? Who do we blame for Connie's death? Lydia for running away into enemy territory and the group looking for them? Carol for using Lydia and forcing her to run away? Or the group for just not letting her run away and do what she wants to do for going out there looking for her? So if Connie dies as a direct result of looking for Lydia, look, watch all the varying degrees. This is what I love. Some people are going to say Lydia. Some people are going to say Carol. Some people are going to say, we're going to be all over the place on this. So I'm going to tell you why it's Carol's fault. I love this. We're going to blame one person. We're going to get way off topic with the live spoilers. It's Carol's fault. Because Lydia is not a rebellious teen. Lydia is a person that has been psychologically abused by an abusive person for her entire life and never got to grow up the same way other people grow up. And Carol takes advantage of that situation and puts her in a situation where she's already fragile and makes her more. And normally I would not say that. Normally I would look at it and say, hey, you know what? Sometimes we blame the parent too often. But in this situation, Carol, as her guardian at that point, just kind of, lying to her, using her, she absolutely forced her hand. She's not stable. So Carol pushed that. So some of these things that are consequence, we got to remember what caused these things. If Lydia, how old do you guys think Lydia is? Ballpark. Would you think she's 16, maybe? Mentally, and based on experience, how old do you think Lydia is? 10? 11? I would argue that Judith is more emotionally stable and more under control than Lydia. Would you agree with that argument? Would you agree that Judith is better equipped to handle a difficult situation than Lydia? Josh Jack, Judith mentally 73. I love it. Ben Stevenson, is Sadiq's death his own fault for not playing it cool and calm when he realized the truth? No. At first I had to think about it, and then it's like, why didn't I just say no to begin with? No. It's not his fault. He was murdered, Ben. Somebody went into his house and murdered him. No, it's not his fault. That'd be like you saying, I was walking on a sidewalk and a car drove up on the sidewalk and ran over my foot, and it was my fault because I didn't move my foot fast enough. No, he was murdered. He didn't go through boot camp to train him. What do you do when somebody comes into your house and you discover them and don't know how? I mean, there's no training for that. I mean, at first I thought it was going to be, I'm going to have to give some deep thought to this, but no. Dante's 100% responsible. He's a killer. He's a murderer. So, with this Lydia thing, and I don't think Carol has gotten enough of the blame for this because she's desperate, and I understand what Carol's trying to do. But I just did not like when she told Daryl, Lydia can make her own choice. And she never gave Lydia the chance to make her own choice. And I just think some of Carol's flawless reputation from the past carries over into our decision making. And I think Carol was clearly wrong by the way she handled this. And just because you've got a history of doing good stuff and helping people, you can still do something careless and reckless and jeopardize future people. 9 years on the show and putting your life on the line does not mean that you can, put an emotionally fragile person in a very difficult situation. Yeah, I'm not liking the Carol storyline, and I gotta be honest. I hope I don't want to see Carol in a dark place again, but I do hope there's some consequence that rolls back for the action. I do like the cause and effect dynamic. I don't like just the cause and then it leaves it as you never go back and visit that. And I'm going to say it. If this group gets themselves in a bad situation, I will say this. I like the fact that it's a dual mission. And I think the writers covered themselves nicely here. they're going after the herd and they're going after Lydia. So if they were just going after Lydia, I think Carol's going to take a little bit more heat. But yeah, there's other reasons. She's going after Alpha, they're going after the herd, and they're trying to find Lydia. So I guess that kind of, I can come to terms with that. Christmas Girl, how would Carol react if Lydia's killed by Alpha? Responsible. I mean, I don't see that Carol, I hate to say this, I don't think anybody in Alexandria loves Lydia. That's the kind of a cold place. I think they've accepted her. I think they feel for her. And I could be wrong about it, but I just don't feel Carol's taking her in. I don't think Daryl's overprotective. I don't think Daryl's in tune with her. See, Brian, I don't agree with that. I think Daryl wants to protect her, and I think he wants to protect her too much, but I don't know that he has that love for her, that bond with her. In fact, this week, the spoilers state that Daryl's argument to Carol is like opposite. Like Daryl will kind of say, well, she needs to be here because it keeps Alpha away. And Carol kind of, pushes back and says, no, her value is more than that. So, and Negan just has a soft spot for kids. I mean, he likes kids. We got another super chat. We got Ben Stevenson. Totally agree on Sadiq. I asked to show the blaming can go weird ways in different situations or handled differently. People can be saved. I'm typically not, you guys know this, I make light of it sometime, but I'm not a dweller on blame. Like we'll talk about, the whole Daryl, Glenn, Abraham scene because I think it's entertaining to look at different perspectives from time to time. But there's usually a bunch of safety nets. Like there's usually not one person that pushes the other person in front of the train. So is Carol, does she have some culpability? Yes. Is she solely responsible for the decisions that Lydia makes and the decisions that other people make? No. And I think that's the gray area we really go after. BC, it's a shout out from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you. Man, you guys are watching late over there. If you guys don't know, we're all around the world. Because all around the world, same song. Yeah. Crawfish. It's apocalypse. What are your conduct rules for right and wrong? It's a great question. That is actually a really good question. And whatever you establish, it's whatever your group agrees to. So Alpha has their own version of right and wrong. One of those is when Beta tells Negan he has no food and you're the whisperer that gives him food. That means you're wrong and you die. Another one is to question the Alpha. You can't do that. But in the council, you can stand up and yell at Michonne, the highwaymen demand justice. And then, you get to say your piece. But it's whatever's established. And they can change, and they are continuing to change. Chris Robinson. I've been wondering why our survivors just don't make their own whisper mask the way that would be too easy, right? Let's dress like them. Dress like them, and then they don't know who's who. So how many of you, look, if you're going to go out, anybody here that would just make a Dante mask and just roll up to the borders, wave at Alpha a couple times. We got your dude. He's here. There is one more big spoiler that I do want to touch on tonight, and that has to do with Michonne and Virgil. And I want to save that for last because I do know the Virgil story is a little bit rushed. Crawfish. It's not who has the gold makes the rule. It's not who has the gold makes the rules anymore. It's true. And Crawfish, I think probably a version of that, they went from whoever had the money made the rules, and then it was whoever had the biggest stick made the rules, and that was Negan. And now it's probably who has the best ways to survive and keep people alive. That's who you want to stick around. That's who you follow. Or is it time for the beta to become the alpha? But I think once this war is over, we're going to get back to civilization. We're going to get back to humanity. I do think it's interesting that the group was all about inventions and radios and communication, and they run into this other group, and they're total opposite. And the technology is going to outdo the lack of technology, and then the next story arc is going to be about lots more technology. Crawfish says, it's now he who has the numbers makes the rules. Or the hashtags. Hashtag PDL. I think that might be a promo or a plug for tomorrow night. So I use that as a cue and just remind you guys that tomorrow night we are going to be doing part 2 of River Rage. So if you missed part 1, go back and watch last Friday's stream, our Freestyle Friday. And about halfway through, we started our River Rage scenario, and we're about halfway through it. So there's some good stuff that's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to be live with that at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I think they're really good theories. Let me kind of give you guys a little bit. Many people are here for the spoilers, and I do want to finish on that one spoiler. But next week, you're going to see probably a different side. If you're brand new, the people have been here for a couple years, you know how we do it. But next week, Monday, Tuesday, you're going to see a lot of speculations, a lot of deeper theories, a lot of psychology, things that we're going to see on the screen tomorrow night, or tomorrow night for some people watching it late, or Saturday morning, people watch AMC Premiere. But it's going to kind of fuel the debate over the next week. And there are going to be some, why didn't they do this? What's a good strategy? So, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, most remember. The Whisper that was walking wearing the mask. That was the teaser scene. And we thought, is that going to be Negan? Is it going to be somebody else? They just kind of threw it in there to throw us off. There is a scene that looks like it possibly could throw us off. And it's the Michonne with Lucille scene. Crawfish, love the moderators, show them love, they are the best. Crawfish is hitting like all the bullet points tonight. Promo and PDL, promo and the greatest group, and he's absolutely right. The mods are incredible. This would probably be completely shocking, but I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. So the spoiler is, and I won't go into the whole Virgil thing. Let me just say the Virgil story is rushed. Virgil, when they're on their way to Oceanside, Judas says, hey, I'm writing this stuff down. Luke says, well, there's a library, let's go to the library. They go in the library, Virgil saves them. Then apparently Virgil wants to steal a boat. The reason he wants to steal a boat is because he comes from a naval base on an island that has a lot of weapons. Apparently, there's enough weapons to defeat Alpha and her horde. Michonne leaves Judith behind. You guys will see where I'm going with this in a minute. All right, really quick, I'm going to give you the last part of this theory, but I need everybody here to hit the like button, or we're just going to wind this stream down and leave it as a cliffhanger. Watch the likes go through the roof. And here's the deal. When people watch the playback, we just want them to know that everybody had a good time. All right. So, is it possible? Oh, no. Chronic? Bruh, just say it. Come on, my man. We're gonna drag this out. All right. How rude. All right. Is it possible that Judith doesn't see Michonne again? I want that to sink in for a minute. Michonne goes on a boat to go to an island. Gives Judith the reason of why she's leaving her. No, it's not awful. It's not awful. Stick with me. And her intention is to go find the weapons. And she doesn't make it back for whatever reason. The boat gets lost at sea. There's another group. She doesn't make it back to fight the Whisperer War. I like it. I'm going to tell you why I like it. Because Michonne's got to leave. You guys do realize at some point Michonne is leaving. And this may not be the moment. And I don't think we're going to be ready for the moment. But does that not seem as believable as Michonne says, Judith, I'm going to go with this nice man because they have a lot of weapons, and I will get all those weapons, and I will come back and help you find Alpha. Okay, Mom. That's the only way they separate. And then she gets on the boat. She goes over there, drops off Virgil. No problem. See you later, Virgil. Pack the weapons up. Then she takes the boat back, and she gets back over there, and then they all get the weapons, and they kill Alpha. Okay? That seems easy, and it seems warm and fuzzy, and mother and daughter get to leave, and they get to reunite. But at some point, we have to accept the fact that Michonne is leaving. So why not now? She does need to bring the weapons back, Joyce, but it doesn't mean she will bring the weapons back. It doesn't mean that that boat ride is going to be a normal boat ride. And I think Michonne being lost at sea or that being the cliffhanger that people aren't really looking into is a real possibility. Or she loads up the boat, goes with Virgil, gets the weapons, comes back, and then in 2 episodes, she's probably leaving again. How's she going to lead the second time? Or do you want her to come back and leave a second time? Just food for thought. I'm not convinced that this isn't the end. Can be completely wrong. We might see her come back. But I will say this, in the spoilers don't mention Michonne coming back in this episode. Got a couple super chats. Ben says, Rick info at the island, tearjerker radio, goodbye. Oh crap, Michonne, USS Minnow, 3-hour tour. Absolutely. Christmas Girl, Michonne leaves after Alpha's head is handed over. So you guys think Michonne has 5 more episodes? How many people here think that Michonne has 5 more episodes? How many people think that Michonne will be around for the killing of Alpha? Okay, to those who think that Michonne will not be around for the killing of Alpha, why would Michonne voluntarily leave when the group is in the middle of a war? So, doesn't it almost have to be something outside of her control? I mean, aren't we going to kind of question it a little bit? We've had this gray area for so long. We've been talking about this for a year. And in a year, we keep getting to this certain point, and it's like, how's Michonne going to leave and Judith stays behind? How's that going to work out? How's Michonne going to go look for Rick, and Judith is going to put her foot down and say, no, I'm not leaving? It just doesn't completely make sense. Or how's Michonne going to say, hey, I heard Rick was alive. Good luck. Take care of Judy. I know Alpha's a bad woman, but you guys got this. Fist bump. I'm on the boat. See ya. Doesn't make sense to me. What does she do with RJ? That's been the other question you guys have asked. She's got to take RJ, right? No. She's going to go find Rick. She's going to leave RJ. Exactly, Jay Smart. That's my point. So, even if it doesn't happen this week, this to me is the perfect narrative of how Michonne leaves for a good purpose, leaves her daughter for a good purpose, but doesn't make it back. And maybe it doesn't play out here. Look, maybe she makes multiple runs. She comes back, she participates, and it becomes a normal thing. Like, all right, we're rolling out. I think this boat with Michonne and something happening with the boat is a very strategic exit. That's all I'm going to say with that. Just give it a little bit of thought. We will dig down a little bit, but I wanted it to be time-stamped in this video, so as we talk about it a little bit more, I mean, we are going to be talking about Michonne's exit, right? And how it happens. Everybody's got their own version of it. Maggie comes back, they give her information, she leaves, and for every theory we have, we've got an anti-theory of something that just doesn't make sense. From her getting on the boat and trying to do something to help in the Whisperer War, I also think if Michonne... Does it not seem a little bit too convenient for Michonne to go over and get a whole bunch of rocket launchers, come back, and then Alpha dies, and that's the end of the war? I mean, doesn't it seem kind of typical Walking Dead that there's a promise of weapons, but the weapons never make it back to really help you out? Wouldn't that be more Walking Dead than Michonne loads up, everybody's strapped, they go in, mow all the walkers down, they get a sniper shot on Alpha, and our group wins. Woo, yeah, champions. I don't see that. And that's a great point, Kitten. Is Virgil good or bad? Certainly seems like a good character right now. But we're going to have to wait till they get to that island and see what goes down. Hey, everybody, this has been a super long live spoiler stream. We not only talked about the spoilers, we've went in detail and other stories and the psychology and all of the above. A whole lot of good stuff going down. I would have felt more comfortable, to be honest with you, if I would have read in the spoilers, Michonne goes over, loads up the boat, comes back. Now, that might happen. Maybe it was just overlooked in that conversation. But I didn't see anything in the spoilers that said Michonne shows back up and the group goes and fights. It almost felt as if she goes and then we don't know what happens after that once they get over to the island. So That's probably one of the things I'm most anxious to find out. Where's she at? Where's she going? Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, everybody. Be here. We're going to start with Freestyle Friday. We will start with the Walking Dead topic. Do me a favor. No spoilers tomorrow night. Just if you want to talk spoilers, if you think that you're going to bring up something from this week, don't. Because they're going to be Walking Dead generic topics. There'll be outside topics, and then we'll switch it over to PDL. But we got a lot of people that are in there playing our game with us that don't want to know Walking Dead spoilers. So just do me that favor. Dorothy Martin, Michonne was only in a handful of episodes, and she's only supposed to be in a handful of episodes. 5 is what I heard, and so I think she's certainly rapidly approaching that. I am I'm done. I'm done, guys. Hour and a half. There's no commercial breaks in here. I haven't taken a breath in like an hour and a half. All right, let me give a shout out to the Patreon Army. Thank you so much. You guys see that group in the top left-hand corner. They support this channel through a third-party website. There's a link down below if you guys want to become a patron. They are my partners. We do polls, surveys, scenarios for Play Dead Live. Whole lot of stuff. Thank you so much to all the patrons. There's a tier of patrons called PDL sponsorship. We have 24. We're capping it at 25, so you guys can do the math. There's going to be one more spot left. Once we hit 25, we're going to go into production with our PDL. It's going to be a supply drop. Those are going to mail out in March, so that'll be the first quarter. We will open it up again after the first of the year and expand it to get more people involved, but we're going to have limited editions. They're going to be custom designed boxes, the scenarios that we use in PDL, and some other unique items. Each one is going to be different. We're not going to send out the same stuff. So you get it, you get it. If not, you move on to the next one. It's going to open up. So the game's going to continue to develop, so stay tuned for more information on that. The Green Team, thank you so much, Green Team. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Custom emojis and our super chatters, a lot of super chats tonight. And, of course, as OU Captain Crawfish said earlier, our moderators are the best anywhere you'll find, not just on YouTube. They keep everybody disciplined and keep us on point. So I will see you all tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And thank you, Reese. Reese says, thank you, Kills. Great stream tonight. As always, appreciate every stream. And let me just say I appreciate each and every one of you. If it weren't for each and every one of you, I would not be here streaming and talking about the best show on television. 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. This is the highest rated Walking Dead season of all time. So let Forbes talk about ratings and this and that and all the other crap. The highest rated Walking Dead season of all time. Ben Stevenson, no commercials, but the orange Red Bull, though. And I didn't even get to touch it for an hour and a half. But we'll go check that out now. I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.